Hello YouTube. Today I don't want to talk about the news as much as I want to talk about Ripple in particular, or rather Ripple in general, because I don't want to talk about its current price, I don't so much want to talk about its near future as my hopes for its long-term future. And the last couple days we have seen Ripple make pretty massive gains, with it gaining about 20% in a 24-hour window on one day. And as this new bull market may or may not be starting, I think it's very much looking like we are at the beginning of a new bull market right now, but it still remains to be seen. As we might be coming towards a new bull market, I want to just briefly, because I'm not an expert, but I listen to experts, I want to briefly make the case that Ripple could very well become the dominating coin either in the next bull market or one of the next bull markets. Maybe not above Bitcoin, but there is very strong potential, in my opinion, for it to become the number two. And there's a few reasons for that. But let's first look at some very recent good news surrounding Ripple, because Ripple is seeing a lot more adoption in the last couple days and weeks. And it's all coming in bit by bit, but it's just a constant stream of good news around Ripple. Let's look at this at first. Exodus, the multi-platform wallet that you can keep a bunch of different currencies in, has finally added Ripple. It took a long time, but they finally added it now. So now you have Ripple in a wallet. Ripple hasn't had a good wallet situation before. I'm actually unsure if there was a wallet at all before this, a software wallet for on your computer. I feel like there wasn't one. I feel like you had to have it in an exchange. But now we have a software wallet with Exodus. And Exodus, of course, has Shapeshift integrated, meaning you can instantly trade into, I think it's about 40 other cryptos, including one that is tied to the US dollar, True USD. So this is getting pretty close to a dollar trading pair. Then in the last couple days, we have gotten the further announcement that DCEX is going to be the first digital currency exchange that uses Ripple as exclusive base currency. Most exchanges right now, of course, you use Bitcoin. I believe there may be a couple that use Ethereum, but I haven't personally used them. But this will not just allow you to use Ripple as a base currency, but it will be the exclusive base currency, meaning the entire cryptocurrency exchange is going to run with Ripple as base pair, which means everything will be valued against Ripple. Ripple will be the most important crypto on it, and it also means a lot of movement using Ripple. DCEX, sorry, I'm a bit of a mess today. I don't know why. DCEX is an America-based exchange, I believe, meaning that, San Francisco-based, meaning that any other cryptocurrency exchange that claims any reason for why they cannot accept Ripple or why they cannot use Ripple as base pair is pretty much full of shit. Because they didn't just decide on a whim to use Ripple as a base pair, as base currency. They did their research and they checked out that everything works legally. So if DCEX is using Ripple as base currency, that means no other exchange has an excuse anymore at this point. There's just none. They are just full of shit if they're still making excuses why they can't have Ripple on there. I think we all know which exchange I'm talking about right now, but there's one. There's one that just keeps making exchanges. But so we had this great news, more adoption. We have Exodus, one of the major wallets, using it. We have DCEX launching to use it as a base currency. And then we have more announcements that Ripple's XRP is going to be used by 3 new exchange partners that are actually going to be used for international money transfers, which is what the XRP system is meant for. The XRP system can send international transfers much, much faster than the traditional banking system, and much, much more safely, and much, much more reliably. the way international bank transfers right now work is with the SWIFT system. And the SWIFT system is, I believe, 45 years old now. And that age really, really shows. With the SWIFT system, an international monetary transfer takes 2 working days if everything works out perfectly. That is assuming a best case scenario where you are transferring from one country that has a lot of money flowing through it to another country that has a lot of money flowing through it. For example, between Germany and the US. That would probably work in 2 working days. If you're trading from if you're trading from South Africa to Saudi Arabia, there's a very good chance that with SWIFT it takes 10 working days. That is insane. With Ripple, of course, using XRapid, Ripple has XCurrent and XRapid. XRapid is essentially XCurrent with the XRP token, and XCurrent is just their blockchain technology to quickly send payments, but it doesn't have to be in the XRP token. So they're both meant for much, much faster transfers, and they're significantly faster and more secure and cheaper than many other cryptocurrencies as well, because they're specifically meant for this one thing. Like many other cryptos prioritize other things. Like Ripple doesn't prioritize privacy or decentralization as much. Or pretty much anything else. Ripple is about speed, is about security, is about being used by corporate clients and becoming the de facto international banking standard in the future. And that is why I think that Ripple long term will absolutely dominate. Now, I'm not an analyst. I cannot work with models. I cannot make predictions. But the best prediction I have seen so far, the most professional, is one that I'm sure a lot of you have seen on YouTube by Esoteric Trading Solutions. The XRP valuation for $334 per Ripple after 1 year of 10% of international banking adopting XCurrent. Not even XRapid. If they adopted XRapid, it's supposed to go even higher. The thinking behind this is the problems with SWIFT are much farther reaching than just the time consumption. SWIFT also costs an incredible amount of money, because if you want to trade money through SWIFT, you need to have an incredible amount of money just sitting around in accounts. There's very complex reasons for that, and I would suggest you watch this video to find out. She is an analyst. She has worked in the banking system, and she explains which problem SWIFT has. She explains how Ripple is solving that problem, Ripple's strategy, and then she goes through some standard financial models to evaluate Ripple on the basis of that use case. And just with that, just with 10% of banks adopting XCurrent, after 1 year, the token should be worth $334 each. That is not assuming anything else. The problem is, right now, Ripple is incredibly undervalued, and that is or rather the reasons she cites, and I'm inclined to agree, is that the cryptocurrency market is still a very young and inexperienced market with a lot of people in it who don't have a very good understanding of how to evaluate coins and projects. They're using the completely wrong factors to go by. But she is applying a standard format, a standard algorithm of the same kind that a major bank and that a major investment institution would apply to evaluate XRP. And she comes to this value. She further says that after 2 years, it should be close to $900 per token. So I think it's fair to say she's making the case for the $1,000 Ripple in the near future. The assumption for that being 10% market adoption, which Ripple is aiming towards. You have to consider once enough major banks start using Ripple, those banks will have a massive advantage by being much faster and much cheaper than other banks. So other banks will pretty much have to follow up, and they will have to also adopt Ripple to be able, or at least XCurrent, to be able to provide those same prices, meaning logically Ripple should find mainstream adoption in a couple of years' time. Yeah, and if that happens, the price should logically go up. The only issue is that the crypto market right now doesn't evaluate coins in a way that makes a lot of sense. Like, coins that have much, much, much better use cases, that have much better technology, that are much faster, that are much more secure, that have a much better chance of finding mainstream adoption, are trading well below Bitcoin. And nothing seems to actually track to how much it should logically be worth if you just followed basic models. Simply because people are not going by that. People are going by their feelings, people are going by which projects they personally like, and a lot of the big institutional investors are not in the market yet. A lot of them are waiting for a bit more regulation, but once they do get into the market, they will apply their models, and they will come to similar solutions as esoteric trading solutions. I'm sorry, I forgot this lady's name. She mentioned it at the beginning of the video, but I'm just going to call her esoteric trading solutions right now. I'm sorry, lady. You're very nice, but I forgot your name. I really appreciate your video, though. Like, once all these institutional investors come in, they will apply these valuations. They will apply these same models, and they will enter similar or even the same numbers she entered. And this is, she said it many times in the video, this is a very conservative assessment. This is assuming that Ripple doesn't completely dominate. This is assuming that Ripple just catches a bit of the international money market, which is exactly what it's aiming at. Ripple, the company, has 25 billion just sitting around in bank accounts already. They are a big company. They have means. They have already made deals with a bunch of banks. And like you saw here, they keep announcing new ones. Like here they were for Bittrex, and then they also do trades with Mexican pesos and with Philippine pesos. So these deals, they're coming in. They're coming in every couple of days. Like, there's always something new. And the moment this reaches critical mass, the moment people notice that this is going on, the moment institutional investors flow in and start evaluations like these, it could go absolutely crazy. I think, I genuinely think that Ripple is probably the safest, most promising crypto token to hold right now. And even if we see short-term losses, which we have this year, there's no getting around that. We have gone from 360 to 30. Though we have recovered from, I think, 28 to 36 over 2 days in the last couple of days. That was kind of insane. But long-term, long-term, a year, 2 years, 5 years, if nothing goes spectacularly wrong, Ripple should at the very least be in the tens, if not in the hundreds of dollars per token. And I'm very much looking forward to this. I think that is what all the evidence we have right now is pointing towards. Of course, you have to take all of this with a grain of salt. Nobody can predict the future. This is all assuming certain variables. But these are likely variables. This is a realistic scenario, and I am on board. I hope you guys are also on board. Let me know in the comments how high you think Ripple is going to go. Are you holding Ripple? Are you in it for the long run? I would really suggest you do, but I'm not a financial advisor, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm not an analyst. I'm not an advisor. I'm just a guy investing his money and trying to be informed. And I hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to end this video here. Thanks a lot for watching, and Ripple to the moon.